Okay, it's 6 o'clock p.m. City Council, IYAA proclamation reception, October the 13th, 2014, at 6 p.m. Italy, Texas. Ms. Murdoch, will you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir, I will. Mayor James Hobbs.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodney Guthrie. Greg Richards.
Here.
Frank Jackson.
Here.
Paul Cockerham.
Here.
Stephen Farmer.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, I'm going to do a presentation here. Roger, will you step forward, please, sir? Yes, sir. How are you doing? Okay, this proclamation, whereas the Italy Youth Association sponsors athletic events for boys and girls from kindergarten to the 6th grade, and whereas the association's official motto celebrates children while encouraging competition, and whereas over 200 positions, be it on the football field, basketball court, baseball field, cheerleading squad, are filled with area youth. And whereas the association's intent to instill the fundamentals of sports, develop character, encourage physical fitness, and competitive spirit. Whereas the mayor and governing body of the Italy are proud to acknowledge the Italy Youth Athletic Association and its volunteers an asset to the community. Now, therefore, be it proclamated that I, James Hobbs, hereby declare that on October 13th, 2014, IYAA Volunteer of the Year is Roger Jeanette. Come on in, Sal. Where's Charles? You got anything to add to that?
He's been doing it many years, and he's about to wing off, so we're going to be looking for some more help.
Okay. Thank you.
Timeless effort, and he will do anything we ask, and we greatly appreciate all that he did for the youth.
If any of y'all out there don't have anything to do, it's a
I've got
great
plenty.
organization to work with.
I've got plenty for you there.
Roger, I want to present this trophy to you for you to keep in your possession for the next year.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, sir. What's next?
Cake.
Cake and punch? Okay. Who's going to be first? Roger?
Oh,
You're first?
all right. I always like to be
Charles?
Well, I think I'll be first.
Robert?
Andy wants to be first. It's okay.
You want to be first?
Congratulations, fella. Proud of you.
Come on, Mom.
You been killing any big snakes at your house? You been killing any big snakes?
No, I heard there are a bunch of them around. I better start watching.
Hey, Curly. They're not gonna rush up here to get themselves, are they?
You'll take one of them and brought it to you.
You can have that one. I'll bring it in.
I just want some punch. Thank you, sir.
Really? That singing, banging, and I couldn't do it.
It's amazing, especially like more
Get your piece right here, Greg.
didn't know it was 17.
You don't want it? Huh? Joan?
Oh, no, thank you.
Karen? No, there's Wyatt if you'd rather have Wyatt. Charles, you want this cake?
Oh, no.
Brian, I know you ain't gonna pass up the cake.
Are you asking or something? I don't think so.
Are you sure? Oh, that's her. I'm sorry. She told me, what, chocolate? Okay,
I'll take it for you.
you gotta be fast.
Jackson?
Oh, do you, Mr. Picky? Huh? All right.
I didn't want it.
Yes,
I did. Changed mine, didn't
You're gonna do some great.
Good job.
Good check, dog,
It
right?
is.
You want a piece of cake? Are you sure?
That one had chocolate, a little bit of white. Mixed. Sorry.
All the time, I mean.
Thank you.
The big one. I got the video. Me? Yeah, I realized.
That's a good thing.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Poor Craig was running for his life.
Pretty good.
Another 4 out of 10.
All right, number 2 is consent items. A, approval of the city council meeting minutes. We're gonna do all 3 of them together, or? Okay, let's go one at a time. Consent item A, the approval of city council minutes, September 8th, 2014, to September the 9th, 2014, September 15th, 2014, and September the 18th, 2014.
Make a motion to approve the city council minutes for consent item number 8.
I've got a motion to approve consent item A by Councilman Councilman Cochran.
I second.
I've got a second by Councilman Jackson. All in favor? 5, none, it's unanimous. B, approval of bills. Approval of bills to be paid.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is on the city of Italy. water and sewer, page 2.
Page
I know it's
2.
kind of, you gotta dig through this.
Not that page 2.
No, it's on into it a little bit. It's mad. It's a good spot of problems. We have a charge for $95 for running house home supply, and it's labor to remove and replace faucet for Judy Mabry's residence.
They used to take samples there at her residence, and the faucet itself broke off inside the wall of the brick, and our guys couldn't fix it, so I got Lonnie to go down and take care of it.
Okay.
Just to clarify, the city broke it.
Yes, to my
Okay.
knowledge.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
How long did it take us to get it fixed on this? How long did it take Ronnie Young to get it fixed?
And how long did it take them? Not very long. He knew immediately how to fix it. But we did have a plumber go out, the geyser went out, and the plumber didn't know how to, they thought that they were gonna have to repair brick around the wall, but evidently they didn't.
That's all question.
Okay, any more questions on consent item B?
I know we've asked before if we can get printouts of the actual bills. Is this the bills that are handwritten in, like keyed in? Or is this the actual bills that come to us?
No, on what? On all of the bills?
So
You wanna see
all the
bills?
expenses that are given to us, I think we asked before that we wanted to get the actual bills, like the detailed bills instead of the keyed in.
Oh, I understood that it was just for the credit card, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you want to see the actual bills of every bill that we have?
Or, yeah, I mean, I think that would be best, that way we can have it detailed, that way we can see what's, you know, the charges and all that, instead of just the hand-keyed items.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That's all I have here.
Frankie English? Rodney? No. Great. I've got a motion to approve the bills, consent item B.
Second.
And a second by Councilman Guthrie. All in favor? Opposed? None? None. Item C, approval of earned compensatory time.
Make a motion to approve.
I got a question about this.
All right, I've got a motion to approve the compensatory time.
Mr. Hall, is that your question?
Yeah, I've got a question about this.
Is it, do I take that now or?
Go and do a second, and then you can go ahead and do the discussion.
Okay, I need a second, then we can go.
I second.
Got a second by Frank Jackson. Discussion?
So I'm looking at the comp time and the vacation, right? So it looks like we have a lot of time it's rolling over, so we have quite a bit of time. Do we, and maybe Mr. Bosch can answer this, because we do have personnel issues on the agenda. We have a personnel policy in place for a certain amount to roll over, and it looks like we've exceeded those, the time. So the balance, like for example, like Becky, she has 112 hours, and I can't remember the number, but it was like 60 or 80 hours to roll over from physical year to physical year.
Her anniversary date was August the 22nd.
Okay,
She gets 104 hours because she has been here long enough to receive 104 hours.
okay,
So the difference is a small amount that rolls over because she wasn't able to use it in time.
Okay, but in that policy, it states that it has to be submitted into writing to the mayor to be approved. But we're still rolling this stuff over. So,
I failed to do that, that's my fault.
okay, so these, I think, need to be adjusted for our policy. And Mr. Boss, I don't know if we need to talk about that later
You can,
before we approve.
you can if you want to hold off on it, because we've got several.
And then
You should talk about
she's saying that she
personally.
shouldn't get the compensatory time.
No, I'm saying we should follow policy.
I know what I'm saying, but she's earning that compensatory time.
I understand, but we have a policy in place that it states that it only a certain amount rolls over.
I understand that.
So we just need to revert back to policy. Now, if we have,
I don't think it,
if she has time in service, now that might be a little different, and maybe that's something we can talk about. But if she has time in service and this is what is owed, I'm talking about the time that if you have 340 hours, and you're rolling over each year, 340 something hours, then it needs to be reverted back to what we only allow to be rolled over.
okay, what part are you, which one, what are you talking about?
So I'm talking about, vacation time is what I'm talking about right now.
Okay,
And again, maybe that's something we talk about, Mr. Boss, as far as policy.
Yeah, we've got that on the agenda later.
Okay.
Okay, so,
We have a motion and a second right now, so.
right.
So,
We're
can I
gonna-
ask a question? Sure. So, why, you said we're gonna talk about it in executive session, about our policies? Okay. That'll be my- Okay.
Well, this is to talk about the compensatory times, what we're approving. Now, you're in this particular agenda item talking about vacation, so we're not here to talk about vacation. This is strictly compensatory time.
Well, we are gonna be talking about comp time
But
and,
that, I understand that, but you're bringing up something about vacation that we are specifically on the agenda is addressed as compensatory time, to approve of earned compensatory time.
The matter for a vote is on comp time, not vacation.
well, it's still gonna apply. Because we have an issue on the agenda right now, when I discussed it. So-
What comp time are you?
So the comp time, if you're looking at let's see here, the water department, they were switched over to comp time and salary. So if they're earning comp time, that's still gonna be on here, so we still need to discuss that.
I don't see any comp time on the books for this particular month for the water department.
So Terry, does this one, does it have it in effect? Was this printed out before it was switched over?
for water now, it was printed after the payroll,
But weren't they switched over?
they were switched over.
Okay, so they're able to earn comp time then, right?
As non-exempt employees, they would be able to earn comp time.
Okay.
That's an issue that we discussed
When did that go in effect?
on the 22nd because of the payroll.
22nd, because of payroll.
That was the beginning of our last pay period.
Okay, so this is for 9/22 through 10/05, correct?
Yes,
So they haven't gotten any comp time in this period,
correct.
okay? But they are able to get comp time at this moment in time.
At this particular moment, as non-exempt employees, yes.
police gonna allow more comp time than any other departments.
Right?
No, sir, I don't.
Yes, okay, I had a first and a second. We discussed it. We're gonna discuss it more in executive session, or we're just gonna table this item until after we get out?
Well, there's a motion and a second, so whoever made the motion, you see to decide that, or just go forward and vote.
I moved that we take a vote for the approval of the compensatory time that we have in front of our face today. Now, if we have other issues or addressed
My
for the comp
my
time.
question to you, now or after?
Now.
Okay. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Passed unanimously. Okay, Ms. Murdock, do we have any citizens' comments?
Yes, sir, I have Charles Halls.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Council, how are y'all doing? Thank you for your time. I know it's a thankless job. First of all, I want to thank Officer Robinson for an awesome National Night Out. I think we did a great job, and the community came together, we had a lot of fun. Kids had a good time. But, I'm not a big griper, and I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. But we just had homecoming, right? Homecoming makes kind of a party, you know, it's family get together. If you were gonna have, any of y'all were gonna have it at your house, you're not gonna leave dirty underwear laying around, floors dirty. That's what we did in the city. Like I said, I'm not pointing fingers, because I don't even know who's responsible for it. But there's weeds in front of McConnell's that are as tall as this. And the reason I brought to my attention, and I missed it, I didn't pay attention. But we're at the pavilion, and I'm hearing people that used to live here giggling and laughing about we should have had Main Street mowed before we had homecoming. We failed as a city, and I'm not blaming anybody, because I don't know who's responsible for that. I know Karen beautified it unbelievably with some help of several other people. But we as a city have got to do better. You know, when something's coming into town, you know, have in place. This is who's responsible. I said, I don't know if the water department's responsible. I don't know if Terry's responsible. I don't know who. But I just hope that we can learn from this, and so we don't, next year when we have this, that we hear people saying how good our city was, not making fun of how we should vote. So, that's all I said. I'm not here to drive and complain. I'm just hoping we can fix it next time and make it better. And
Yes, sir, I think, and I concur with you, Mr. Hiles, is that we can control the way it looks. Things that we can't control, like pipes breaking, catastrophes, that's what we can't.
oh, I understand.
No, I'm talking to you and the citizens out there that yes, we should have our looks in shape.
And I appreciate what all y'all do and what all the city workers do. And, like I said, that's just something we missed, but hopefully we can put something in place where we don't miss it.
Sure, we'll,
Thank y'all.
thank y'all.
Joan Grabowski.
Let's go, boss.
Hello there, Mr. Mayor, Councilman. I have asked before, and I would appreciate it if you could put a copy of the information you guys get in your packet out here on the table so that we as citizens would be able to look at it during the meeting too, so that we know what you're talking about. You know, and I have asked for it before, so I'm asking again.
Okay, Ms. Murdock, would you make a note of that, please? So you give the citizens,
And then I don't know if it's gonna be in Dean's report or not, but I know the one city council, when the chloramines was brought up, and he was supposed to check into treating the water with UV instead, but I don't see any of that on the agenda. So, I don't know if it slipped through the cracks, or if he's gonna address it, so. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
That's it? Okay. We'll close, this closes city council, city comments out. Number 4, department head reports. Chief of Police. See you later.
Mayor, Council. Under our UCR reported stats, which include the Part 1 crimes, which include the property crimes, burglaries, motor vehicle thefts, we had a total of 2 UCR reported crimes, both were burglaries, which we're still under for the total for the year of last year. For our other crimes, we had 8 this month compared to 17 of September of last year. We are 26. We have 26 less offenses year to date than we did last year at this time. Those other crimes include the assaults, thefts, criminal trespasses, and other types of reports. We wrote 324 citations for the month of September. We had 5 arrests and a total of 76 for the year. The top 5 calls were business checks, animal complaints, meat complaints, medical calls, and alarms. And that's it on our actual stats. You have a commendation for Officer Cherry and Sue Lawhoff. I'll read what I wrote. I'd like to commend Officer Jason Cherry and Sue Lawhoff for their extraordinary efforts in making the City of Italy National Night Out that was held on Tuesday, October 7th, 2014 at the Upchurch Fields a tremendous success. Just a couple months prior to the event, Officer Cherry volunteered to be in charge of organizing the event. He worked with very little discretion and with dedication in obtaining many fun, family-friendly events, such as he had a couple bounce houses, face painting, a dunking booth, air evac helicopter, numerous food donations, McDonald's characters were out there, the police cars and equipment, the Ellis County SO Explorers, Ellis County SO K9, and gift bags for the kids. His efforts were invaluable to the success of the event. Because of his efforts, the event was a huge success. He is truly an asset to the Italy Police Department and this community. Also to Sue Lawhoff, the administrative assistant for the Italy Police Department, who worked alongside Officer Cherry to make the event successful. She dedicated time and effort to soliciting donations from businesses and organizations around the county. She also helped man the concession stand and made sure everything was running smoothly during the event. Because of the selfless actions of both these employees, they brought public acclaim to this department and are appreciated for their dedication to serving their community.
Thank you, sir.
Good job, guys.
Okay. Item E is Public Works Department. Dean?
Yes, Council. This month's been a long month back and forth with gloves and working out some details in the water and how much water we need, fire protection, how many fire hydrants, lift stations. Our engineers work closely with their engineer on where to put the fire hydrants, where to put the water lines and collection lines, and also the lift station. We were on upgrading, actually not upgrading, but removing this one and putting a new one in place. That will come later with a different report with the gloves. We finished the project that's out in front of McDonald's and Taco Bell. It was a long project, but it got finished. I want to say I appreciate all the help that we got from the police department, from contractors, from advice from other people. There was a lot of assistance there that actually wasn't there working. This month, at the end of the month, Lone Star is going to come out. They are our gas chlorine cylinder, what we actually put into our water. We're going to have a safety test. We're actually going to have them come out and show us how to break away one of the diffusers on top of one of the cylinders. That way, if something happens, we can actually fix it when we're there. We've had a couple of cylinders leak, and it became an issue. So now we're kind of getting proactive here and put on a program to try to set everything up. I'll get with the police department and the fire department whenever we get all this together. UV. The UV is an excellent way to chlorinate or disinfect, rather. for a system of our size, it would be around 142,000 to 276,000, depending on flow and temperature. It's hard to, you can't treat with UV as hot as we are, so it's almost impossible. It could go even further than 276 by the time you get another storage tank in just to use it. So UV is kind of out of the picture.
Is that a yearly number?
No, sir, that's to actually bring it and put it in place. What you do is run the water through these elements. They go through, and the UV rays would kill all the bacteria that's in it. So then you don't have a taste and odor of any kind of chemical byproduct. But it's very, very expensive.
What's the electricity cost?
I didn't do analysis on electricity, it's very high.
Yes.
Thank you.
Municipal courts, Mayor and administration.
Mayor, council members, the Italy court report for the ending, for the month ending 9/30/14. The citations filed by the police department was 232. Warning citations filed was 92. Warrants cleared were 60. 84 collection letters went out, and 191 warrants were issued. For the city, the administration report, the sales tax for October was down for the month by 3.77% compared to this time last year. It's still up 4.32% for the year. As Dean said, L.R. Campbell has been repaired, and the guys did a great job. The coordination and the timing was especially important due to the businesses in the area. It went very well. It was done by Bowles Construction with help from the Public Works Department and the Police Department, and thanks to everyone for doing a good job. The Texas CDBG project on Harris, Hardeman, and Williams has gone out for bid. The tally sheet's in your packets, and that's on the agenda tonight to discuss. The HRA grant for the home rehabilitation has $824,000 that can be that we can compete for on October the 15th. Jake and I will be entering 2 locations on that day, and hopefully we will receive some funds from that project. I've been working on the department, working with the department heads to complete the job descriptions that are in the packets. And once the job descriptions are approved, I will be able to advertise for Main Street, as well as secretary, part-time secretary for Public Works. The budget has been entered into the system. There are 2 or 3 things that I still have to correct on that. Chief Martin and I attended a TML Supervisory Academy in Waxahachie at the Waxahachie Civic Center on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. The academy gave many instances where supervisors are responsible for the safety of their departments, as well as making sure that policy is being followed. This was a great learning experience for us, and we both came back with valuable information. I also will be attending the TMCCP Graduate Institute on October the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Kerrville, and this is part of my recertification. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's important that I let you know, we did get donations for this street. Victron gave the city $5,000 to put into this project. And Eddie with Exxon gave us $2,500. So it's really appreciated to help us out on our budget quite a bit.
Yes, sir. Well, I wanted to thank all the crews. Mr. Garcia, Mike, pass that on to Michael. So we appreciate the professionalism and the way it was done, and in the matter of time it was done. It wasn't not just a quick fix. It was a tear out and put back. When I went out there at 11 o'clock the next day, it was kind of a wow factor. And it's still a wow factor.
And Albert, you did help on that too as well, and I do appreciate that.
Chief, I want you to thank your men. Well, you got more than that.
Saxon was the one that was the most.
Yes. And Dean, thank you guys for helping. More especially your team. Howard. Thank y'all. Okay. Any more department reports?
Yes, sir.
Okay, regular session. H, discuss and consider necessary action regarding Josh Trees addressing the city council requesting a water meter variance on 772 South Highway 77, Little Dome. Josh, Trees, Mr. Trees? You prefer Josh or Mr.? Okay. The floor is yours.
All right, I said I had those, I guess the three little domes as you leave out of town. I said I've owned them, I guess, for, I don't know, I'm gonna say 8 years or better maybe. And anyway, I mean, I didn't know I was really doing anything wrong at the time. I said, but my wife more or less takes care of that. And she called Terry because she wanted an extra trash can. And it was brought to our attention that whenever that happened, they said, well, there are people in them, but it ain't really so much of me wanting as much as it is a need for me, because whenever I didn't have anybody in them, they got vandalized pretty bad. So that's why I did it. But she said that I would need to get 2 more water meters out there for those, and like I said, they're not, I think the biggest one's 16 foot in diameter, I think, and they're just, and I said, well, I was gonna come and plead to y'all to say, you know, I mean, I have a water meter out there now that, you know, I ran it from Harris Street is where it is, where it's ran from almost Harris Street, and it's ran all the way down the front and going back there. And, I was asking for a variance on that to say, well, you know, I mean,
You need 2 more trash cans.
or just one trash can. I mean, that's what I needed. You know, I mean, it was, you know.
How many water meters? You said you only have one?
I have one water meter out there right now.
I want to say we have an ordinance, right, that
Yes, sir.
states per house, right?
For Southwest, so the debt that we owe, everybody has to pay it back. That's why we have to quit letting water go to the churches. Because we couldn't give water away.
So what's the cost of a meter?
Well,
So you would need 2 more.
I'd have to buy 2 more.
Well, it's not so much the cost of, it's a rule, it's a regulation that comes out of the state.
Okay, well,
Each
but
entity has to have a meter.
what's the cost of a meter?
15.
1,500?
So what type of variance were you looking for?
Well, I was more or less just looking for a variance as far as what I have out there, you know, has been there for 8 years, you know, I mean, a long time. You know.
You got three domes out there.
Yeah, a little dome, but one family lives in 2 of them, you know, because they're not big enough to, you know, and I mean, that was, and like I said, I mean, they, like I said, I mean, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Versus, and if you don't get the variance,
Well, you know, I mean,
it'd be cheaper for you just to tear them down.
well, I mean, I'm not gonna say so
And
much.
you don't want to do that.
I'm not gonna say so much tear them down as much as it is, I mean, they're just, I mean, I just think that you could combine all them things, I mean, they're just small, you know, I mean, and, I just think it's, you know, I don't know, and I just thought that, you know, but it could change. I mean, I'm gonna say that if I do this, if they were in Ellis County, if they were in Waxahachie, if they're in Red Oak, if they're in Ennis, if they're in Hillsborough, if they're in, we can go look, I do business in all of them. And I said, I can tell you that they don't do that. From personal experience, they don't do that. Whatever it may be, I'm just telling you that they don't. It's no different than me sitting there and saying, because my plans are, and I'll tell you, I said, I mean, it might be jumping the gun or speaking to something else. My plans are eventually building 4 plexes down through there. Probably in the next couple of years. As soon as I finish this out here and I get about half this sold, I will be doing something else. But I'm not going to spend, it makes it absurd when you start saying, okay, I'm going to spend $20,000 per building just for a water meter or something. I mean, that's, you know, I could build a whole building for $8,000, you know, I mean, it's almost been 20% for water meters, you know, I mean, That's the deal, you know what I'm saying? Well, and that's why I said, it's not only for this, but it's also too, for future in my mind, to know, okay, to prove precedence as far as me for future. You know?
Terry, have we ran into this problem before?
It's my understanding that all the, all of the apartments out there, they all have their own meters. TCEQ has regulatory guidance saying that there must be that 1 meter per residence requirement.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And so-
I'm aware of it. Like the law, I get that we're not gonna get past.
Well, just like, I want to say, just like this, well, you know, like whenever you go out there and build, like I'm building an apartments right now in Midlothian. We're building 120 residents. The 120 residents, they're 8 meters, is what they're actually putting out. There's 120 apartments going in, but they're not putting but 8 as far as meters that go in. And I said, I can, you know, go from town to town to town where we do the work at. And I said, I'm not saying whether they're getting away from it or how, what it is. I just know that's what it's done. You know, I mean,
Mayor, the best way to get away from something like this is contract metering. If we wanted to, we could take those apartments, pull every one of our meters off and put one meter out front. It'd be a contract meter. And then that building tenant is responsible for it.
Are you referring to this particular location?
A contract meter is a certain size. That's the only way you can do it. You'd be charged a contract fee.
So that we would still be in compliance with state law?
State law.
Why
Same
after
as-
8 years does this change?
It's not that it's,
It hasn't changed, it's that those buildings out there weren't used as residents then. That was out there when you had your rock stuff out
when
there.
I first started, it was my
And
business.
so they haven't been residences prior to
They're
this.
being used for the same thing. I mean, they're still being used.
well, here's the problem. We have an ordinance in place, and it sounds like we have a law in place that tells us that we have to have a meter on every building that, right, Terry?
Is it a Texas law? Those laws also apply to the county also? Because I can tell you South, I mean, just saying, South Oaks County, I can go to Red Oak, to Rocket Water, I can go here to Planet Vista Water, I can go to every water department around here, and they're not doing that. I got an 80 thing RV park right now that's got 1 2-inch commercial meter going to 80 different ones. I can run all over town, as far as around and show you that. I think
with the company, First Southwest.
It also pertains to
What
our.
did they tell us? What did they tell us?
They told us that because of our debt service and because we were charging each resident, that we could not provide free water to any residents, nor could we provide free water to any of the churches, that each one of them, each resident would have to, and each meter would have to pay the debt service. And so, when you have something like this, you have 2 residents or 3 residents in one location such as this in 3 different buildings, then that's the same as saying, well, this group didn't have to pay the debt service.
You're paying debt service on your water that you're out there now. How many gallons do you go through a month?
I always have the minimum. I don't ever have any
Minimum?
more than the minimum, than whatever the minimum is here. $110 or something. I
And
don't know what the minimum is.
Does that place out there qualify for a contract meter?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think he has a problem. I think he has a problem with paying $1,500 per meter. I think that's what you're really getting at, right?
Well, if you just had 1 meter out there, it's just 1 meter, I don't know, it's $3,000 that you might have to spend out there for something that, I don't,
That you plan on tearing
Well,
down in the
or
future?
whatever it might be in the future, but it would, it affects me a little bit here, but when I start building apartment complexes out there and I gotta come in around $100,000 check, it affects me greatly. And I said, that weighs on my mind more tremendously than for sale signs going up and saying, man, I don't want to need it. Why do I want to come in this town and spend $100,000 when I can go anywhere else and not have to? That doesn't make good business sense.
Where'd you get $100,000 from 2 meters? We're looking
Well,
at
I'm not
3,000.
saying, but if I build 80 apartments, if I build 80 of them out there,
Well,
for 60, then
it
I'm
says,
gonna give it $1,500 a piece.
what TCEQ regulatory guidance says, 1 meter is required for each residential, commercial, industrial service connection. An apartment building or mobile home park may be considered by the utility to be a single commercial facility for the purpose of this section. So those are and can be, but that is one, that's why you probably were able to service 8 meters for 120 apartments. Right. I'm sure it has to do with flow and, you know, things of that nature. So, but it just says, the rule says, for the protection of both the customer and the utilities, that is 1 meter per residence or for commercial connection, which I have to look at the rest of these citizens that have to pay their meter fees.
And how, and there's
They've
I guess it's
already
different
done
as
that.
far as if you do, yeah, most of them, I mean, they really only have one. I said, but most times, how does it work that's different as far as commercial?
Even though it's commercial, with our debt, we still have to charge for each unit of water and wastewater.
Well, that's not right. If you, because I know places around here that rent stuff out, and they got rental parts in their commercial building, and they're only paying for 1 meter. So where does it become, I mean, I know that. I mean, I drive around town. I mean, I look at shops outside of town and people inside town. That ain't right. Why does it, Josh, go ahead, man, now it's time for Josh to pay, but not for everybody? Everybody needs to pay then. Let's play the game right. I'll write you a check for $3,000, but everybody needs to play the game like me. It's not right. It's not fair.
Well, if there's an issue, if there's an oversight like this was on this, then we do need to address it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know?
So why can there not be a variance, what you were just reading, about doing those 3 apartments and him having 1 meter?
Because we can't break law, state law.
Because they're considered each individual residence. It's not a
Right.
complex by the statute.
And we can't do a variance for what he's asking because of the state law. I mean, we can't do it.
If we start, then where does it end?
So is that same commercial meter 1,500?
No, it's not. It's a new
My-
tap.
And my thing would be saying, okay, so if you have a commercial business and you got 3 businesses and operate out of 1, they need to go buy themselves 2 more meters. Isn't that right? Is that how it stays? So it'd be like, I'm not saying anything about, you know, say the gas station was operating as a gas station, and then they decided to rent out the right-hand side of their building to whoever may be renting that spot out. They need to buy themselves another meter in order to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's, was that what you read on the law?
Yes.
So then, yeah.
Well, y'all might want to ride around town and take a more look, not only at me.
Look under H, behind his
So,
request.
I mean,
Well, I understand what you're saying.
And I just think fair is fair. I don't mind writing a $3,000 check out, but everybody in the town needs to go and get hit like me.
I understand that.
All right?
But I'm just saying that, well, you know, it was hard for us to make the churches pay.
I
But I didn't want
I
the
wouldn't agree
churches
with
to pay.
making churches pay neither.
But they
I
told
wouldn't
us,
agree
you know,
with
I said,
that.
well,
You know.
now I understand what you're talking, what you're coming from. But it's just, that's how it is. You know,
I
it's not
understand, that's how it is, and I don't mind. I'm gonna write a $3,000 check and I'm gonna do it. That's how it is with everybody else needs to be too.
I understand.
You
You're
know,
right.
I mean, that's my thing. It's not hard to find.
I understand.
It ain't hard.
I understand.
Josh, how long has the domes out there been occupied?
Well, they've been occupied from the time I got them. They've been occupied all but for about 8 months when they got destroyed.
As residents?
No, as far as residents, and then I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years. I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years probably. I don't know. I could guess if I maybe 3 years. You know, it's been a while because I didn't know I would have come in. I didn't know. They got tore up pretty bad, and I said when I first moved out, I left it vacant, and then so I left them vacant, and then like I said, in a matter of about 8 months. I never bashed all in, man. That's where our windows all broken down, the doors broke in on them. All the toilet seats broke off, pieces all over the place. And he wasn't moved in, but the other chief y'all had was a waste of air. I said, man, I called that man and called that man and called that man trying to get him to come out, but he told me that I was on my own. You know, because he got tired of me calling, because every time I would call him, I said, man, they're tore up again, they're still breaking in. He said, well, you need to deadbolt the boards. I did deadbolt them, they banged them in. You know, I mean, I don't have that kind of do. You know.
I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing, TCEQ saying that you can have a commercial meter, like you said, for like apartment complexes and have one, and then that cost is passed on to each one of your tenants, like you would do. But then we've also got our other, what Terry was talking about, how they're telling us that with our debt, we can't. So I need some
Our
clarification.
debt service said that each meter had to pay a,
But is that state
on the
law,
debt
or
service.
is that just?
That was a regulation with our debt, in regard to our debt. And the issue with that is that the city was giving water to the churches for free, which meant that we can't give, and they did stipulate that, I mean, it was a requirement that we have to charge for water to every residence. We can't not charge water.
Where we had a commercial meter charge, let's say it's a complex, or whatever you want to call it. You can call it, the 3 domes, or
Well, let me
whatever.
ask you a question. How does Jordan, how do they have 3 different, they have 1 meter?
I know that they do have 1 meter there, and I know that they're paying 3 minimum water services, and they're paying for 3 debt and sewer services.
Okay.
But they've been there like that for
Okay.
more,
So
way more than.
they're still paying, even though they're still paying minimum, and they all like, okay, I understand.
But they only have 1 meter.
And they only have one, but
So
that was
that's
set
the
up,
same
that was,
exact,
somehow that was the agreement when the gardens were in,
Yeah.
and it's a commercial, I believe it's a commercial levy.
that one's commercial. Is there any way we can find that out?
I can't right now, no. But I do know that they're charged 3 minimum water bills, 3 debt services, and 3 sewer
But
services.
if it's not commercial.
And garbage.
But if it's not commercial, we're falling into the same thing.
There's
that
4 buildings out there where you are talking about.
is in.
Well, 3 or 4, whatever, I don't
That's what I'm
know.
saying, there's 4 buildings, they're only being charged 3 debts, then
No,
they need to be tacked on one too.
No, then I was mistaken, I know that.
But it
I
doesn't
don't-
matter what they're paying, it's the same situation as Mr. Trees is in
They've got
if
one
it's
meter.
not commercial. So they
The
would have to
difference
be
is one's a
switched
mobile
over.
home park and one's not.
It's a residence.
Sit down.
They're down,
It's
but
the same
no,
exact
out
type
here,
of building.
It was set up,
Mobile home park's a
but it's
residence.
just set up, those out there are set up like they were like they were,
But if
uh,
commercial,
like
right?
a hotel, it's like a small,
Okay.
that's how it was actually set up,
Okay,
That's why they give.
even though they're residents.
so before, I'm not,
They're still paying for
I understand what they're paying.
And water.
I get what they're paying, but they only have 1 meter, and this is what we're trying to address right now. I guess we need to see what they're set up as, for sure, before we make a decision on yours, because we want to make a fair decision. And again, this is just my opinion, but I think we need to find that out before we can address your situation. Because if they're set up the same as you, then it's only fair that we make both of you guys, because I'm gonna tell you.
And I'm fine with that. And my only other thing would be is that, if you come back, and it is, and it's whatever y'all, y'all are the judge and jury. I said, but if you come back and say, man, Josh, you're gonna do it, I don't mind. But it needs to be fair. If
No.
people are coming back after 8
I
years
agree.
and saying, okay, Josh, it's time for you to go play the game, they need to ride around town, everybody will play with me.
Right. No, and I agree with you.
You know?
So, when do you need to know an answer on that?
It's entirely up to y'all. I just got a letter enough that I was gonna be fined if I didn't do it. And I said, well, I wanna ask first, I mean. So really, it's up, I guess, to the city and y'all. I just don't wanna be fined, just so I go ahead and,
So
you know, I mean, I
Chief,
just.
could we hold off on the fine until we figure this out?
We all make a decision.
But Mr. Hart,
Yeah, we'll put a moratorium on it till we get a decision. Is it,
No, that's
Is that
fine.
fair enough
Y'all
for right now?
satisfied?
okay, what's the motion?
Make a motion, we just table this to be brought up on the next month's agenda, till we can kind of determine what this situation is back here, and then maybe we could base this situation with his, if it would fall within the guidelines of the law, but if not, then we may have to revisit and see we're going to have to do back here. So,
And more.
Sure.
And more. I mean, I'm telling you, it ain't hard. You ride around town, you start looking at buildings in back for commercials, and you start looking at all this stuff run off home meters. And, you know, like I said, I mean, there's more than what you think.
So we've got a motion to,
Table this to the next meeting.
yeah, we're going to table, can we table it till next meeting or just
Postpone,
postpone?
postpone definitely.
Tabling it to next meeting would be better.
Okay, I've got a motion to table this.
We can't table it. If we table it, then we have to take action on this meeting.
No, you can table it and then go ahead and,
That's not the correct definition.
I beg your pardon. You can table it until the next meeting, because that's a time certain.
Because we gave it specific time to address it
But that
again.
would be postponed indefinitely to a certain date. If you table something, you table it, and then you take it back off the table and you deal with it at the same meeting. If you postpone something indefinitely, you don't have a date for it. But if you have it indefinite, I'm just parliament, you know, I'm just saying, you know, because people think that we're gonna bring this back up at the end of the meeting. If we table,
Okay, if you prefer postpone, we'll postpone it to the next meeting.
Okay, I've got a motion to postpone item H till the next, regular city council meeting. Date, will that be on November 10th? November 10th.
I'll say,
I got a second by Councilman Cockerham. All in favor? 5, and opposed? 0. Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Trees. Item I, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding Albert Garcia addressing the city council requesting deed restrictions on city easement of railroad property.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and I'll make this real quick. Last year, in February, I approached the council about considering deed restrictions for the remaining railroad property that the city owns between Italy and Waxahachie. And I'm going to refresh your memories on what I talked about. If you come to Italy, you drive to Italy from the north, and you exit on off of 35 on the 77 there at Forston, you can still turn south and have a pretty drive to get here without driving through junkyards. If you come from Waxahachie, you have to drive through several junkyards on both sides of the highway to get here. And the way some of those junkyards got their access was buying the large tracts of property beside the railroad and or behind the railroad running alongside Highway 77. Then they approached the city about buying the railroad, which gave them highway frontage. That's how they were able to put those junkyards in there and have access to those properties. Otherwise, they'd have had to come a long way around. It wouldn't have been attractive for them. These are lucrative businesses, so whenever they come, they're staying. They're not ever going away. You know, I just think if we're really, really careful about how many junkyards we allow coming this way, maybe 20 years from now, we can get the Cowboys down here. Jerry's always bring them down here, so it'll make it that happen.
Do you
So,
remember the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was wondering if anything had been considered on the time when I approached.
When was the time that you approached?
February of last year, I think.
Yeah, it was February 11th, 2013.
so no action was taken?
Yeah,
at that time?
February 11th.
Nothing's been
No
discussed.
action was taken?
No action was taken.
Was that that man that was Mr. Walker wanted down?
Yeah, some of that land, and now there's still some more. The city still owns some more north of that. You got two pieces south of Forston, which would, you know, put a couple of places there that we may not find attractive driving down here. I don't know what kind of deed restriction we could place on that, but I'm sure there's something to discourage that type of business.
And on your paperwork, Mr. Garcia, it said motion was made. Was it tabled or postponed? Sorry.
There was a motion made to consider
Okay.
some sort of deed restriction.
Okay.
And all you're asking for is some sort of deed restriction.
Yeah, I'd like for us to be real careful on how we how we sell that property and what we allow to come this way. Not so long ago, we fought off a junkyard right here at the gate, at the front, right here at 77. And so, that could have been disastrous to our community. But those things are creeping up.
What's it zoned as right now?
Railroad property.
Well,
What was that? That's ours.
It belongs to the city of Italy.
belongs to the city, but it's
That's ours.
not in the city.
It's
It's
city,
in
it's
the,
not, it's just railroad property. Yeah, well, it is in the city, cause we had to annex that. We annexed our way up to Nina, but, that town called Nina. Jimmy? Did we annex our way up to,
I don't think we ever annexed it. They gave it to us.
no, we did annex.
Did we annex
Yeah,
it?
we annexed.
May I inject something there? I'm not signed up.
go ahead, Mr. Hobbs.
The area where the wrecking yards are, the city had no control over. That did not belong to the city. That reverted back to the original sellers of that property. It was
The
a
original what?
reversionary clause in it.
The family that owned the property.
It was condemned or whatever, and it went back to the original heirs.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have that. I think there's the restrictions of no trailer houses already on that property. And when we sold it or set it, it was restricted at that time. Each piece. I'm like Albert, it needs to be deed restricted to, whatever you desire. We don't need any more wrecking yards on it. And that would be real simple to write up a set of deals and attach it when someone buys it as a deed restriction.
Well, if it's already in the city limits, if we can go ahead and do it, cause
Yeah, you can do it.
we did, I'm almost positive we had to go and have that property annexed to the city. I'm pretty sure it was.
So you're saying, just discussion, if the city of Italy owns a piece of property, it's automatically annexed? Or did y'all have to have a separate meeting to annex it?
We annexed it. It was given to us, and we had to annex it the way it was. We had to annex it. I'm pretty sure.
Just because it's city property doesn't always automatically mean it's within city limits.
Right.
So you have to annex it if you want it to be within city limits. It sounds like that's what happened.
And we can't, it has to be contiguous.
Yes.
But it is.
It does, but I
I know.
have to look at this.
Parts of this is not contiguous.
Okay, but the way it was is, the way I can remember, we had to annex it, and, because, we had to do it. It was annexed. I'm positive it was annexed. We had to go all the way to the, I remember that we went all the way up to the place called Nina. That's what where that bridge, is it Highway 55? Where is that?
Yeah, it's called Nina up there.
But annexed all the way up to there.
But several sections have reversionary clauses
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, you're right.
And, but all you gotta do is if somebody wants to buy it, the rules have been in place, they have to survey it, they have to pay all the closing costs, and they have to get a fair market value for it. All you gotta do is come up with a set of deed restrictions and attach it to that piece of property at that time.
But what I'm saying, if it's annexed to the city, it's already, you can add the deed restrictions already that we had, says, as a city has. We have deed restrictions for us.
You can add the deed restrictions anytime.
But I'm saying that I already added, if it's in the city limits.
No, it's not zoned.
Okay.
Well,
We don't
let's go back.
have deed restrictions right now for what he's asking for.
I think when Albert came to that meeting that they approved it, but I thought that it was just from Forest and down.
Yeah.
That they approved the deed restrictions you had requested.
Yeah, I don't know if they approved.
It wasn't approved.
Yeah.
It said they discussed it and take further action. We're looking into it, it's still not approved.
I thought they approved it.
And there's two pieces there south of Forston, but there's still some railroad property north of Forston, which,
Do we have
if we can
anything
do that.
south of town that would need the same thing?
Yeah, I don't know
No,
about south
that
of
don't
town.
belong to us.
Oh, that doesn't belong to us?
It only comes to well, to highways, to, 34.
But what I was just saying is right, by having ownership of it, you should be able to place a deed restriction on it. So that when they go through the sale, they're limited as to what they can do, which we would put in place, not have junkyards.
Yeah.
Pull it, look at the old files and see exactly what it says, whether it was annexed, whether it
A
wasn't.
lot of Curtin was here.
I don't,
And what we want to restrict it to.
Getting back,
Or whatever.
getting back to the original, discuss and consider the deed restrictions.
Right.
And I think what may have to happen here is we're gonna have to, within a reasonable amount of time, research it and come up with some sort of restrictions. And set it to be on the agenda for,
Yeah, I think that's what we said last time.
well,
Yeah,
A year ago.
maybe we do it
But-
next meeting though, and I'm taking notes.
we will,
We'll make sure it's-
we'll, it
Yeah,
won't,
that's
it
what
won't
about,
go.
for something, if somebody came tomorrow and tried to get under the wire, I mean, would we do it, or?
Well, we wouldn't,
Hold
we
them
would, we'd have, they'd have to come to the next meeting, first of all, to get it, us to
I
decide.
think what he's saying is, do you agree with the deed restrictions that we'd like to have
Yes.
put in place?
Yeah.
Well,
So if y'all do y'all's research and you can do it, then we go ahead and put it in place, because you agree with keeping junkyards free of the entrance of the community.
Okay.
we
And
can,
we'll make sure it's on next agenda.
we can probably make a motion now for what,
So just put deed restrictions on it,
on the deed restrictions,
because that's what it says.
and it doesn't have,
but what restrictions?
That's what I'm saying.
well,
That's what I'm trying to
restrictions,
figure out, kind of deed
restrictions would come up next.
You know,
You can
because I mean, like, we
put that on-
could just like
put that on
residential
next
if we wanted to, but then that would kind of shoot us in the butt if once somebody wanted to put
they
a
could-
nice business in there or something.
Well,
That's
then
what
they
I'm
could-
saying.
But then they could come back in and ask for a variance.
Right.
It has to be zoned first, it's not zoned.
Okay. There's a lot, sounds like there's some research that needs to be done.
Is it, do you
We don't
concur
know.
with this,
We don't
Mr.
have
Ross?
the answer for.
I'm fine with putting it on the next agenda. I'm not sure what is.
Okay.
We're gonna look at Albert and, I'm pretty sure we should counsel, well, I can't speak for council. I can speak for myself, I mean, we're gonna look into it and nobody wants more junkyards.
No,
I
you
feel
know,
like that, I can't.
well, I feel very strongly about it. You know, we've got people, Charles Howes and those guys are working, trying to get this community to make it as attractive as we can for people to move down here and raise their families here, to go to school here, to enjoy their recreation here. When people come from out of town to come to a softball game or a baseball game or a football game, they gotta drive to the junkyards. You know, that's not very sexy. And people don't, you know, they don't appreciate it.
Right,
And,
yeah.
I-
I don't blame him, because I think it comes all the way down to, well, past the property and everything else.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have it on the next agenda, the way it's addressed.
But I'll just say one more thing, and this is it. When I was at Citizens National Bank, I had a customer that bought some land over there. And it's attractive property, all those properties are. And it was his life's dream to build his retirement home there. Well, when he started to build his house, I said, man, are you sure you want to do this? Because you got all those junkyards right there coming up and everything. And he said, yeah, man, I've worked real hard, got this property paid for, and I'm using this as my down payment for the house, for the construction of the house loan. We did the loan, and then when we did appraisal for closing, it actually appraised for less than what it cost him to build the house. I can prove that, and we can invite him to come and talk about that at some point. But that's why I want us to really strongly consider that, because it's going to affect all of us in the future. Okay?
This is true, and I want to thank you for bringing this to the council's attention again,
Okay.
and for us to, we'll make an action on this.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Do I need a motion on that one, Mr. Voss?
That'd be fine either way.
All right, no action taken on item I till next council meeting. Item J, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding awarding the construction contract for the TXCDVG project number 713239 and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract. This is KSA. How are you doing?
You should have a copy of a bid proposal tabulation in front of you. Accepted bids on September 30th for our grant project through water lines. We had a great turnout. We had 8 bidders. Some real competitive bids. Our bid was set up, right now the existing lines along Harris, Williams, Hardeman, that area, are 6-inch and 8-inch lines. We did our plan set up to go back in with all 6-inch. Just as kind of a base bid, we want to be sure we had enough money to complete the project. You know, if it came in high, we'd have some difficulty getting it done. So we put in the bare minimum of 6-inch, and then we put in an alternate for doing some 8-inch line as well. The grant, I guess the construction portion of the grant, the budget was $240,000 to do that work. Our bids came in at, so for our base bid, which was a 6-inch water line only, the low bidder was PC Contractors with their total base bid amount of $186,393.33. When you look at the alternate items, you add up the alternates, you get a different low bidder. So the bid for the 8-inch line was Duplashane Contractors. Their total price of $212,660.50. So you can see for both alternatives, we're below our construction budget of $240,000. This is grant money, and it also has, you have a match though that went in with the application. There's a certain amount of money you guys are going to have to match at this point going forward. I don't know what those numbers were, but it's usually set up in the application process. So we're familiar with both the contractors have experience with this type of work. We checked the references and everything checked out fine on the 2 contractors. In talking with the staff and considering all the options available, our recommendation would be to go ahead and accept the alternate of the 8-inch line. We're going to get some extra capacity there and still be under our total budget. And, there'll be some additional money left at that point, which we'll try to work to find a way to spend that money as well, so we can use every dollar of the grant that we can. Coming under does not necessarily reduce the amount of match you have to match. So we want to use every dollar.
Maybe you guys are having the same issue. So we got this page.
Okay.
And I have the 3 pages.
Yes.
These numbers aren't matching up.
Okay. Does the bigger page have a front and back? I copied my bid tab and I have oh, there's 2 pages. Okay, so you got the 2 pages. Okay, there was one of them. Are you looking at the alternate number?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
the alternate.
So here's the way it was set up. The alternate items actually replace items that are in the base bid. So you have to do a add and subtract to get to the number, because we went ahead and did all the math for you in our bid tabulation. For instance, in the base bid, item 1.02 is furnish and install 6-inch AWWA C900 DR18 PVC water line with tracer wire. And the low bidder's contracted price for that was $20 a foot for $95,000. His alternate item, 1.01, should be worded just, or 2.01. I have a second page. I copied on my second page. So his item, 1.01,
right,
does 8-inch instead of 6-inch. So to get the number we did, we deleted the $95,000 and added in the $109,000.
Okay. Okay.
And we did that for all 7 of those items in the alternate. So it's a different number there. So we went through and did all the substitutions for you.
So the handwritten bid sheet is the correct number. This is the correct.
No, that's what I'm questioning.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong.
It should be,
This right here is wrong. These are the ones that are different than this.
Yeah.
The ones on the handwritten sheet are what we sat up here and read aloud, and then this is the spreadsheets where we went back and checked everybody's math and tabulated it all in the computer.
so the low bid on the 8 inch is $212,660.50.
Correct. Yeah, the way, the additive alternate number 1 that's on the handwritten sheet is really insignificant. It's just the summation of their items that we're gonna replace other items in the base bid. It has significance, but it's kind of confusing.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to find out why these numbers were
different.
adding up on the handwritten versus.
So we just need to basically look at these two
Yes,
sheets.
yeah, look at the bid tabulation, the one that we've actually got signed there. We did the math, we went through and substituted the items for the appropriate one that it replaced, like the alternate items.
So the PCs for the 8 inches are actually 140, 480.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Which still comes under the 240.
Yes. But if you accept the 8 inch, then Dupla's range is actually 212.
Yes.
So yeah, they become low bid if you consider the alternate.
Yes.
So it switches depending on whether you award the base bid or the alternate bid.
8 inch. And the 8 inch is what we originally were trying to go for initially.
Yes, we didn't think that we would come underneath that amount.
Right.
But we did. So, we, instead of going with 6, we went with 8.
Yeah.
So,
And we want to try to get a base bid of the lowest options that we have, and then we add alternates to try to utilize as much of the funds as we can without going over.
And that makes a lot of difference, that 8 inch.
Yeah, they are.
Versus 6. Doesn't seem like much, but it does.
Yeah, it's almost double. Doesn't seem like it would, but
Yeah.
it is.
So have y'all done work with this booster chain contractor before?
Yes, sir.
Y'all satisfied with it?
Yes, sir.
What about the other one, PC?
I have not worked with them, but we did call and talk to their references, and they had good references. They've got a lot of they provided kind of an experience record as well that included significant work of this size and substantially larger projects.
Now, these lines going in the easements and out of the road?
out of the road.
Okay.
Not in easements, but out of the road. Right.
Yeah.
On the right of way.
Okay.
We are going to be, getting into the pavements to do connections and things like that.
Sure.
We've got a unit price for repairing those as we come through. We've talked about some strategies, maybe trying to utilize some of that additional funds to do some better stabilization of the roads.
Dean, what do you think about the Dupla's chain contractors?
I haven't worked with either one of them, so it's kind of hard. I think it'll be fine. We just have to stay on top of them regardless, whoever they are. What we're gonna do is, make sure all the live lines that are here, the old steel ones in the road, everything's gonna be cut loose, just go around. But we still got lines that are in the ground from the 60s and 70s that are still alive. They should have been cut loose. So,
We can just cut them loose and leave them lay.
leave them where they're at.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, as far as decision goes, I would contend that the main decision is really between the 6 and the 8. And if you'd like to go with the 8, you know, I think a low bidder, either scenario is low bidders. If you don't take a low bidder, then we're gonna have a lot more work to try to justify that with the state and all the federal guidelines associated. We don't have anything, we don't run across anything that really disqualifies them. And met all the obligations to do it.
I'll make a motion that we go with the 8-inch for the Equal Chain contractors.
Okay, on item I, I've got a motion to choose the 8-inch and duplicate contractors. I've got it by Councilman Cockerham, and I've got a second by Councilman Richards. All in favor? All opposed? None. Okay, so looks like we're going with duplicate and the 8-inch, correct?
Yes, sir. We'll
Dean?
send the contracts out. We'll send the contracts out to the contractor tomorrow. That award is awarded, would include the authorization of the mayor to execute those documents that come back in.
Okay.
We'll have a pre-construction conference set up and we'll get started.
Thank you, sir.
Start within a month or so.
Okay. Item L, discuss and consider necessary action. I'm sorry, I skipped K. Item K, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding the approval of resolution R 2014-1013-01, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Italy, Texas, approving the First Amendment to Administrative Service Agreement with the Italy Economic Development Corporation, amending the monthly payment provisions for the city services and personnel to the corporation, authorizing the mayor to execute said First Amendment to Administrative Services Agreement with the Italy Economic Development Corporation and providing an effective date.
Let me discuss this. Well, I make a motion that we go ahead and approve resolution R 2014-1013-01.
I've got a motion to, say it again, you approving it?
Yes.
I've got a motion to approve resolution 2014-1013-01. I've got a second by Councilman Farmer. All in favor? 5-0. Opposed? 0. Item L, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding approval of resolution R 2014-1013-02, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Italy, Texas, authorizing the agreement between the City of Italy, Texas, and Love's Truck Stop for the city to provide fire suppression and sewer service for the property located at the southeast corner of the intersection of FM 1134, State Highway 34, Dale Evans Drive, and Interstate 35 East, containing approximately 16.79 acres, which is the property located in the City of Italy, and providing an effective date. You have a question, Councilman?
For Loves, for Mr. Dixon and Mr. Gleason.
Yeah. Where's Mr. Dixon at? Is he here? Mr. Gleason here too? You want both of them up? Sure.
You got all of them.
I got all of them here.
Oh, shebang.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I know we've been trying to get to the bottom of everything on whether we're gonna do the fire protection or the water. There's a lot of rumors going around, and I just wanna find out from you guys. Do you guys want us to provide your water for you, or are are we gonna go with what we discussed as far as fire protection? Because I'm getting two stories. I'm getting stories that you guys want us for the water and the sewer and not just the fire protection. So, I mean, it's gonna kind of help us make a decision.
We looked at the water service out there and who legally provides the water service and what can be changed, if anything, to that.
Okay.
And we talked with Dean and our engineers, Glenn, Frank, gathering information from both Ellis County and from the city. And we do not feel, they do not feel there's enough justification in order to take water service away from Ellis County. So what we're asking for is water from Ellis County for drinking water, fire protection, and sewer from the city of Italy.
Okay.
I got a statement. Mr. Voss?
Yes, sir.
Did you draw, and we entered into a contract with South Ellis County?
I know that we
Stating-
drew it up. I don't know if they've signed it.
I signed it. I don't know.
We
if
signed
they
it, but I don't know if South Ellis County signed it.
We haven't signed it as of now, but we
Do
don't
y'all
see
have,
there's
you
any
have the
problem with it.
contract, correct? You have the contract?
I don't have it. Yes, we have the contract.
Okay, it's been delivered to you. Okay, and you're seeking your legal counsel to approve it
Yes.
or disapprove it
So far,
so far?
everything's fine.
Okay.
I don't see any problems with it.
Okay, Joe, I just want, because I remember entering into a contract with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And now with this, and you guys are okay with the fire protection, the cost of that, and everything, I guess we're gonna move the sewer, right?
They will,
Lift station, all that.
Are you gonna move the lift station?
we're gonna actually build, we're actually gonna build one next to it. Yes. Our engineer and their engineers, been talking about, what size and what we're gonna do to it. There was a cost to it. The cost is over $100,000. Over $100,000 for this new lift station. They took that cost, the burden. They took the burden on all the water, the 10-inch water line, 2 fire hydrants, and the sewer collection system. And all in all, $360,000 worth of improvements. So,
And are we still gonna charge them $400 a month for fire protection?
no, what we did is we went with our commercial rate, and we added it with their 10,000 gallons a day that they were telling us about. That's how we got some kind of calculation with it, plus the sewer, plus the sales tax and so forth and so on. But right now, an average bill, I'm gonna say, if you stayed at 10,000 gallons a day, an average bill is around 14 something a month. That's for fire protection only. That is not for any potable water. We're not putting any drinking water into their system or into their building.
I got a question.
1,400 a month?
Let me clarify.
Okay,
something.
go ahead, Frank.
He said that, he talked to you and he said Frank. He meant that Frank right there. He didn't mean me.
That didn't mean Frank.
I'm sorry.
That name ain't Frank.
Frank is their engineer. He's the one that drafted up
Get out of this place. Karen, you hear that, did you? What name? Okay.
You mean 1,400? Oh, okay. Just to clarify, thank you.
Incorporated in this, is there gonna be a line from us to South Ellis County,
There will also
hooking them into us and us into them for emergency situations?
There will also be a emergency tie-in on the back side of the building. I don't know if y'all got these plans or not. Yeah. From where the old fire hydrant sits now, that line will come back up to the back side of the parking lot and then back up to the service road and tie in. Did y'all change it? We talked about that. No, that's the 10-inch. I'm talking about, this is the tie-in for, sorry, since their last meeting, instead of bringing it back around, they're gonna tie in the emergency connection up here in the corner of the service road.
Go out 34 towards the freeway and then
Yes.
take a left, come up the side.
That might help.
Mr. House, do you have a comment? I'll get to you in just a second.
This is the 10-inch fire line coming up,
Yes, sir.
and we'll also tap off of that so we can tie into their emergency backup.
What size are we gonna, do we know? Have y'all decided what size to?
For the emergency tie-in?
Yes, sir.
Tying into a 3.5?
Yeah, we're tying into 3.5, from the 10-inch to 3 points. 10-inch down to a 3.5.
Well, that's a.
That's their size.
That's
so.
just-
Okay, just emergency supply, okay. All right. Mr. Gleason. Mr. Hobbs, did you have anything to add to this?
I didn't sign up, but I got quite a bit to say if y'all will allow me. You're charging them for fire protection. When this originated, that originally was presented because they were gonna put a motel out there, or a hotel, and the city originally was gonna have to run a loop line or an additional line to give them fire protection. They are not putting a hotel out there now. They've agreed to a lot of things, but to charge them a monthly fee for fire protection is not, maybe not illegal, but it's immoral when you have businesses out there right now enjoying the same benefits, paying nothing as far as fire protection. They all pay sewer, they read the water meters every month, they get them from the South Ellis County, and they pay a sewer fee just like everybody else does. But they don't pay a specific amount each month for fire protection. You should not do that. It is wrong. Now, if they want a motel out there or a hotel and it has got loop water out there to give them fire protection, that's a whole different story. But we're not doing one thing out there extra to give them fire protection. Now, they're gonna move water lines. I'm not privy to all this information. They're gonna move water lines because it's in the wrong place. They're gonna move sewer lines, it's in the wrong place. They've agreed to do the lift station. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth to charge them a monthly fee for fire protection when they're already gonna be paying fire district taxes every month, or every quarter, every property taxes. And if you do that, you're setting a big precedent for anybody else coming in. These are getting it for nothing, these are paying. That's not equal treatment, and it should not be.
May I say something too?
Thank you, Mr. Howes. Yes, sir, being that you're part of this.
I agree with Jimmy wholeheartedly. You know, it seems like because we're furnishing the water, they're being penalized now because of the furnishing fire protection, and they're being charged extra because of this. Walmart not being charged extra, are they?
Well,
They're on our water line.
they're on our water system.
I know it,
We provide water.
because the other businesses are not being
For the
charged.
sewer.
For the sewer. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know where y'all got $1,400 for fire protection. No, he said that was for sewer. No, I understood what he said. He said sewer.
He said that was based on the
I asked
fire
protection, and they said 1,400. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, because see, I understood
Okay,
it.
let's go back to
You still
Mr.
got to put that loop out there. That loop still got to go out there.
Dean, you
I'm
were.
not saying, follow what you're saying. The loop still got to go.
He brought up the $1,400 before he even brought up the $400 fee.
I guess if you want to get down to it, they're basically the same. Sewer just a little bit less than that.
The sewer's gonna be based on the number of gallons of water that they use.
And all I did was, I took the numbers that the gentleman gave me to give us an ideal. That was it. And somebody has to pay for the electricity, the chemicals, and the water for this. So we're gonna continue to keep giving water away?
You're not giving water away.
They're paying the sewer.
You're not giving it to anybody out there.
Sewer's a completely different story, guys. Sewer's a sewer plant over there, collection system.
And that's where you based your $1,400
Yes.
off.
I'm merely
was the
talking about
$10,000.
fire protection.
Sure.
That's all
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
So what
Are
is
we
the amount for
charging
fire
them
protection?
for fire protection?
We haven't set a price for that.
Dean said
Well,
it
we
was the
did
same as
last
sewer.
meeting. I
Yes,
think
he
we
did.
discussed it last meeting. It was $500 a month.
Well, we we discussed that we, the city, still have to maintain that line out there to ensure that chlorine, chloramines, whatever, is just as running effective out there as they are on that end of the city as they are on this end of the city.
But
So,
fire protection don't have to be treated.
but it's still our drinking water that's sitting out at the end of that line.
It's all tied to the same.
It's all tied to the
If
same.
you're gonna charge that much, you can run a separate line for just fire protection, not have to treat it.
But we never said we were gonna charge $1,400 for.
That's what Dean
He
said.
said sewer.
Listen, it doesn't matter. What I said was I took the numbers that they gave me. That is not the actual numbers. People are hearing what they want to hear. It's not the actual numbers. These gentlemen came to me and said, we'll do 10,000 gallons a day. I took those numbers off of what we charge for commercial. Now, if they use 20 gallons tomorrow, then we charge them that amount off the meter.
For the sewer.
For sewer.
Or water, whichever one. It's still the same thing.
You have to separate the two, right?
I did. Yes, sir. It's separated.
So what are the charges?
I took 10,000 gallons a day, what the gentleman gave me.
Okay.
I calculated those with our daily contract numbers.
Right.
That and the sewer will go off of 10,000 gallons a day.
Okay.
Now, when we put a meter in the ground, we'll charge whatever the meter flow is. In order to put this package together, I used their numbers. That was it.
Right. So the 10,000 gallons a day is how much for sewer? You say you have a number.
1460.
And that's going to be the same for fire protection?
No.
No.
I'm just giving you a number.
Fire protection is gonna be a different charge, correct?
But there will be a charge.
Right.
Could very well be. It'd be a maintenance fee, is what it'll end up being.
But Shell's not paying the maintenance fee.
Do what?
Shell's not paying the maintenance fee.
Well, I still stand on the whole deal. We should be able to sell water in our city limits, and we're not able to.
But it's not your CCN.
I understand that. That's a different argument down the line.
Right, no.
So well, I understand that. But like I said, that's a whole separate argument.
Right.
So, but like I said, it is what it is right now.
So Shell.
Right.
It's a business, Sean. I'm not, I know, this isn't us against y'all. It's a business.
I'm just trying to secure the fire protection.
You can't charge. It's not gonna be charged absorbent fees where we put, but like I said, we have cost.
Hold on a second, one conversation at a time, please, Jim.
So if Dean comes up with the cost, and y'all agree that y'all been in the business, y'all know how much it costs. Sell their truck stop down the road, and if something like that is absorbent, then you can come back to us and say, we don't pay that anywhere else. I mean, and I understand, we're not supplying water, but we do have cost for our.
So you're saying roughly 1,400 for the sewer and $400 or $500 for the water a month?
Correct.
I got that from them, Dean, so it's.
Right,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
That's what we.
He doesn't know the numbers though. And I understand that.
Well, that's what we discussed. I'm going off of what we discussed at the council last time. We said we were gonna charge you $500 a month on fire protection. I'm not talking about sewer, I could care less about sewer, the numbers are what they are when Dean's putting them together.
Yeah.
I am talking merely fire protection, because I've called around and I wanted to make sure we do something, if we do something, it's ethical. Or unethical, I want to make sure we don't do anything unethical. And we want to practice fair business. And that's my purpose of asking this, is because I know what we discussed was $500. And guys, I'm all about making the city money, but I've got businesses out there right now that aren't paying anything. And it's not fair for us to have you pay for something when they're not paying for it. And until we change it, I don't think it's right that we make you guys pay for it. To me, that's unethical. To me, that's unethical. What's that?
Did we come to agreement with you? Are you happy with the agreement that was presented?
I understand, but look at their faces when we
Gentlemen, one conversation at a time, please.
All right, so were you guys aware of the $500 charge per month for water protection?
More.
Okay. Okay.
Because we never really discussed what the sewer was, we discussed 1,400 roughly for water, right?
Okay.
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 how are y'all progressing?
we need, we have a very short due diligence time left, and we need something that we know we're gonna have water and sewer, or we're gonna have to get out of the country.
If you purchase the land, yeah.
We're gonna, within 2 weeks, we're gonna be out of the due diligence time.
You've got water from South Ellis County, correct?
Right.
You've got
Well, we have
sewer.
agreed that and signed it.
Who,
His attorney had to
his attorney had let him sign it, or whoever they.
And that's what this resolution is. This is agreement with the city stating that we're gonna provide the sewer and fire suppression for Love's Truck Stop so that they can proceed.
Okay. You were asking about something.
Yes, I'd like to have a copy of the resolution if we may.
Oh, Ms. Murdoch, get you. I've already scribbled on mine.
I thought I sent you a copy of that. Did I not?
Again, I need to know if everything is settled, where we're gonna get water from Ellis.
Yeah.
Fire protection from y'all.
We've already,
and sewer from y'all.
correct, we've already had assigned and have an agreement with them to provide our fire protection, and they provide the water. They just haven't assigned their portion of it yet, so that's waiting on them. And, so,
And then we can work whatever y'all think is fair on this water and sewer rate, whatever y'all work out, that's.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. We're gonna make a.
yeah.
I'll make a motion.
To,
You gonna make a motion, Paul?
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve resolution R 2014-1013-2.
I've got a motion to approve resolution 2014-1013-2, and I have a second by Councilman Cockerham. All in favor? 4 in favor, opposed? 1. All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Can I mean, was it approved that was it agreed upon then that you are gonna charge them fire
Now,
protection,
what
or
we
is that
agreed on
still
was
in
we're gonna
limbo?
sell them water, we're gonna sell them sewer, and we're gonna give them fire protection.
But not charge them?
There wasn't, no,
We
there
didn't,
wasn't any
it's not,
figures
he said
discussed.
that we're gonna work all this out.
Right.
We
They just-
agreed to do that.
Right.
too.
Okay, so I just
Yeah.
wanted clarification,
Okay.
thank you.
I want to make sure that they can get water and sewer.
Okay, it's 8:10, we're gonna take a short break. We've been here since 6 o'clock. Okay, it's 8:18, coming back from recess. Really, it's 8:15. Yeah, we took a little recess, sir. We're out in
I didn't see you on the playground.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, we stopped at item L.
We passed it.
We passed it.
Yeah, we should have.
It was 4-1. All right, item M, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding the approval of resolution 2014-1013-3, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Italy, Texas, naming an official newspaper for the fiscal year of 2014 through 2015. Ms. Murdoch.
This is the ordinance that we approve every year, naming an official newspaper
Okay.
to post our advertisements in. This is a requirement by law that we name a newspaper. And with Waxahachie Daily Light being the actual newspaper in the area.
Make a motion to name Waxahachie Daily Light.
I've got a motion to, by Councilman Guthrie to name the Daily Light as the official City of Italy newspaper. I've got a second by Councilman Tucker. All in favor? That's 5. Opposed? None. Chief, would you just shut the door? Item N, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding the approval of ordinance 2014-1013-01, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Italy, Texas, amending section 13.01.002 of chapter 13, article 13.03 of the Italy City Code regarding wholesale water rates, providing a servability clause, providing a repealer clause, providing for publication, and providing an effective date.
Offer motion. That we approve,
This is off. Go ahead.
offer motion that we approve the ordinance 2014-1013-01.
I got a motion to approve the, this is
an ordinance.
An ordinance, yes. 2014-1013-01. I've got a second by Councilman Guthrie. All in favor? 5-0. Item O, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding the approval of the service agreement with the City of Waxahachie Animal Shelter.
Did you register with them?
Sean said they did not.
They're the same from when they went up before.
Make a motion, we approve this. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna back off on this one.
I make a motion to approve the agreement with the City of Waxahachie Animal Shelter.
I got a motion by Councilman Richards to approve the City of Waxahachie Animal Shelter agreement with the City of Italy. I've got a second by Councilman Tuckerham. All in favor? Discussion?
What are the rates right now that are charges?
It is, and this is off the top of my head, it's $50, it's $40 for euthanize the animal, and it's like a $10 disposal fee on top of it, and there's another fee for having to hold it, basically in refrigeration, and then there's, if we hold it 3 days, it's $41, so whatever that comes out to be per day.
40 plus 41?
It's 50 plus 41. So it's $40 for disposal fee, $10, or I'm sorry, $40 for euthanasia fee, $10 for disposal, and there's like another $1 or something. It comes out to $91 if we take a dog up there, they hold it for 3 days and then euthanize it.
It costs $91 to euthanize a dog.
Well, this take possession of it.
And that's not saying every dog we take up there, that's what they do. If there's, a lot of it depends on how many animals they already have up there. A lot of times they'll try to adopt the dog out, and we're only paying the.
Well, it's still $91.
What's
Well, not necessarily. If they don't use it, they'll charge us.
If it's $50, you gotta take him up there though.
I think that's what.
What's our other alternative?
We either have our own shelter, which is a highly expensive for as many dogs as we have. I know in the past they've looked at the SPCA, but I don't know what the cost of that or exactly what their conditions are. What it was. I know with Waxahachie, they will come out, if we have a dog bite, they'll come out, not actually to us, but we can take a dog up there, they'll quarantine it for us, and obviously there's other fees and prices for that, but they'll have a little bit more, they've always worked
I think when Shelby was doing it, they would charge, the SPCA was higher than Wasatch was.
Yeah.
That's why I went to Wasatch.
But if we pick one up on a bike and we know who the owner is, they're responsible once they pick the dog up. They pay that bill, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at.
These are like strays that we had no idea. who
Like, but
the
they don't have a
owner
call, you know, if somebody finds one out on 667, there's no caller, and all we got, most likely just got dumped by somebody, and it's causing a problem, and we have to take it. I think last month was, I think when they took one, I think it's $50 was the last month bill.
Okay, all in favor? 4, any against?
I abstain.
Oh, I know, okay. Make a record that, show that Councilman Guthrie abstained. Okay, item P, discuss and consider necessary action regarding taking the credit cards from employees using purchase orders on all transactions.
On October the 2nd, I did collect the credit cards, and if it's needed to register for a class, they do come to me and get a purchase order, use the credit card to do what they need to do, and then return the card to me.
So right now, as we stand, you have, when you took them up, but all purchase orders will come to you first before anything purchased.
That's correct.
Yeah, get them from her.
Huh?
You gotta get the PO,
You got what, Frank?
you gotta get the PO from
Okay, yes, yes.
And, of course, Rhonda and I still have our credit cards, and that's just because that we're in the situation that we have to go get things for National Night Out, or the parade, or whatever that comes up city-wise, that we need those cards rather than keeping them in the safe.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you.
But you guys will still do purchase orders as well.
That's correct.
This was just.
No. Yeah, we done.
So, no, on item P, no further action?
No, she's already,
Sorry,
yeah, she's already got it.
Q, discuss and consider necessary action regarding Public Works Department to use maintenance, inventory, and mileage, daily descriptive activity logs, and possible use of GPS devices for water, wastewater, and streets. Is that for vehicles? You're talking about the vehicles?
Yes. Yes, this is something that Mr. Farmer was kind enough to put on the agenda for me. I did talk to Dean about this, not necessarily the GPS, but I know that he's using Italy city vehicle now to do his work, and we're trying to get all the guys into vehicles where city-owned vehicles, so we don't have one, the liability, and don't have to worry about tracking who went to Waxahachie and over the weekend and whatever. It's just too much out of so I'd like to discuss with the council, going over a procedure or something that we can tie into our inventory. And if we could possibly get some daily logs and see how they go, and possibly move towards maybe even a GPS to work for some efficiency for the city. And I don't know what the cost is on that, and I'm just proposing that just as a cost saving measure for the city.
Chief Martin, does any of the police vehicles have GPS?
Yes.
And
They're all tied to the laptops.
Do you know the approximate cost per vehicle?
They were all tied with, they came with COPSI, the computer system is part of it for their mapping.
So you know, have no earthly idea about a different type of vehicle. Okay.
All it is it just plugs in the USB port of the laptop and magnetized to the post on the
Yes, sir.
mount.
And they have their daily logs. I know I rode with Stevens this past weekend. And I know they have their activity logs, things that they're doing throughout the shift. I think it can play for both sides, right? So it can protect your employees for productivity when you have people complaining, and then it protects the community saying, okay, well, pull up the logs, let's see. And I mean, I think it's a good idea because of the fact that it's going to protect both sides.
We have daily logs that we do. Every day we have a list of things that we do. I didn't bring the books, there's probably 6 of them this big. But to integrate it and put it into the computer would be nice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you have some kind of, if you have something like that, I'm all for it. Make it easier on me. Not so much paper.
Yeah, right. That's something, and I know you've got a lot on your plate. But is that something that you may be able to work with him on? Like especially.
Hold on.
Exactly.
I'm having
One
a hard time.
conversation at a time.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing.
No,
I know you're.
Anyway, Mr. Farmer here said that the chief has some experience with his inventory log. Also, he just told me while I was talking to you, and so either one of y'all maybe to get together. I know there's a lot of softwares out there that are free that'll track clamps, maintenance, so we can have some inventory control. And I know it'll be a little bit work, but checking stuff out and doing stuff like that, see what we have on hand, and then also incorporate that with even a maintenance log for each of the vehicles. That you drove it this far this week, and to have some kind of.
We do have those too.
But like you said, if we put it somewhere where like centrally located on the computer and stuff like that, and maybe have one of maybe the person that's working for you maybe enter that in weekly or something like that, something that we can look at and then the community can look at also, just to see what we got going in and out and where the money's going on each individual job and stuff, where it's charged down.
Brian, did you have
All
something?
your city vehicles, TAC exempt plates,
Yes.
okay, even your big dump truck?
No, not yet. They haven't come in
You
yet.
better make a check on that, because if it's got TAC exempt plates on it, it needs to be placarded as a city of Italy.
It is, we don't have them in yet.
Because if it's not, you're breaking the law.
Thank you, Brian. You got that in the works, Dean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, I didn't, so. He volunteers you. You don't have to do that. Yeah. Exactly.
You've been thrown under the bus before.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, no action taken on the Public Works Department.
Because they're gonna put it together. It's not as a, correct.
We can take action on it and then get the best possible solution to it.
We can, yeah, because I mean, you can do it as a motion or a directive, either or.
Shoot department, whatever you want to do.
Give him a suggestion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the cost would be on like I said, the GPS vehicles. I don't want to pay, something that's gonna, $50 or whatever, $100 a vehicle a month, and tag us with a cost that is going to be detrimental to what we're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, I know we need to do an inventory control, and I guess we can make a motion on that.
They have systems out there where you can integrate all of it. And so you buy one software and you just run it off like iPads or something. Maybe we go cheaper.
Yeah.
Instead of computers, we go like iPad minis or something. I mean, I think we need to take action on this and not pass, like, maybe we need to pass this portion of it, but we go and get a resolution, like he works on it and, you know, and
Well, what we
goes
can
toward
do,
that.
what we can do is research it and get pricing on it, because this is something that we haven't actually budgeted for.
Right.
And we're not even
Right.
out of the first.
Right. Well, you know, like I said, especially like the GPS, something we're gonna, but like I said, those softwares out there are free. And, I mean, it's just basically an Excel spreadsheet will do wonders to try to keep, you know, track. Like I said, it won't necessarily give you that you spend it on this job, but if you know that you have this many jobs, and you can go back and do the research and say, I've had this many water leaks, and you can kind of match it up.
Right.
You can, the information's there for you to go back and do the research.
Right.
If you need to.
And we do, I think we have to.
It depends. Like I said, if we're spending, let's say, and I didn't look, let's say, you know, $4,000 a month in a fuel cost. Okay? And then, so we put GPS on the vehicles and it cost us whatever, and now we're spending $2,000 a month. Where's, it paid for itself.
Okay.
Okay?
It all rolls back into accountability. If we're being more productive and we're utilizing our gas and our hours and everything correctly, it's gonna pay for itself.
So, yeah, if you could look up something maybe like that, and then, I don't know if we need to.
Troy, where you at, Troy?
Right here.
I didn't see
Front
you.
row, man.
I didn't see you for the hat.
I mean, I would like to see
Yeah.
this maybe on the next agenda, that way we can move along. I mean, we shouldn't put it
I'll
all.
see what I can do on locating and getting pricing for it.
Okay.
Y'all have GPS on y'all county vehicles?
No, sir.
We do on our state vehicles.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Looking at square mileage they cover, but
Yeah.
I think that's a waste
Mr.
of-
Hobbs,
Yes,
what the
ma'am.
county does have though, they can tell you what every job cost, how many men were on it, because they keep that. Elisa keeps that in the office and they report to her daily.
I was gonna suggest maybe we need to talk to
The county can
The,
tell, it's a great
the-
system.
the commissioner or get through him.
Yep.
Paul said he would talk to us.
Yes.
He did?
He did.
Okay.
I'll get with him.
Anything y'all need, just get it. Alright. So is that something that we can put, to come back on the agenda, again,
I'll do best I can.
next time, just so we can see, at least see where we are, we don't, that way we don't forget about it.
Well, y'all got GPS? Y'all got GPS?
On our, we use our phone, then we have a good GPS unit that's, it's about a $300 deal. It's not one of the high dollar ones.
300 a month?
But we have to use it so much for finding addresses and whatnot too. It's mighty handy for that. Y'all may not have that trouble.
Sean, would you open the door, please? I think they probably already gone.
No action.
No action? No action on Q?
It's just
All right, no action on Q. R, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding moving Halloween trick or treat to either Saturday, October the 25th or Saturday, November the 1st, 2014, due to the Friday night game or leaving it as is. Didn't we come up with something other?
No, we just leave it as is. 'Cause
What was it?
It'd be
The
too
25th?
confusing.
The 25th?
Just leave
That's
it
what
as
you
is.
wanted, was to put on there the 25th or November the 1st. That's due to the football game, and regardless, in my opinion, regardless of what the city council says about when to do Halloween, people are gonna trick or treat when they choose to, so.
So let's go ahead and leave it on the 31st and be done with it.
Just let it stand
This from
as,
4 to 5 is gonna be over before.
Our trick or treat on Main Street is from 4 to 5. So our part of it will be over with. But not every citizen in the city goes to football game. I mean, a lot do, but not everyone.
Frank, leave it as is.
I would.
31st.
I make a motion that we leave it as is.
I'll say.
Do we know if
Okay,
that,
I've got them.
do we know if that's an out-of-town game or a home
That's
game?
what I was trying to look up. It's on
Because they'll probably just, I would imagine they trick or treat
It's
out.
Out of town.
It's an out-of-town game.
Ms. Murdock, when is the
That's probably.
yeah, it's versus.
trick or treat on Main Street?
4 to 5 on Friday.
Here's the-
It's on Friday, October 24th.
It'll be here.
Yeah,
That's
it
next week.
versus.
Halloween's October 31st. Yeah,
We told them just leave it on, leave it on 31st.
yeah, October 31st is Halloween.
Yeah, it's at Wortham.
When I said out of town.
The streets won't be very busy, so it should be safe for them to get around, especially on college.
Did we vote on it?
So he's already.
I made the motion.
Where did you make the motion?
I made a motion that we leave it as on October 31st.
Okay, I've got a motion to put it on, revise it to October 31st, let it stand as is, as the calendar, by Councilman Jackson. Second by Councilman Cockerham. All in favor? 5, opposed, 0. All right, item 6 is closed session. The Italy City Council reserves the right to adjourn to an executive session as authorized by Texas Government Code, Section 551.072, to discuss the matter listed below. City Council also reserves the right to consult in closed session with city attorney on any proposed agenda item pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.071. Number 1, to deliberate issues regarding the verbal warning placed in administrative employees' files and all matters incident here related hereto, Texas Government Code, Section 551.074. Number 2, to deliberate with Attorney Ed Voss regarding personnel and job description, legal issues, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071. Number 3, deliberate regarding real property, Section 6 is Government Code, Section 551.072. Number 4, deliberate and appoint employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of the city attorney, Ed Voss, and all matters incident and related hereto, Texas Government Code, Section 551.074. It is now 8:39. We're going to recess into executive session. Okay, it's 10:02. Back from executive session. Number 1, discuss and take necessary action regarding personnel issues regarding the verbal warning placed in administrative employees' files on all matters incident and related hereto. Number 1 was no action taken. Number 2, discuss and take necessary actions regarding deliberation with Attorney Ed Voss on personnel and job description legal issues. So, you want me to?
Go ahead. Yeah, no, this is not on this one. This is on 2. This is,
No, okay. I will.
yeah,
If somebody's making a motion, he
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, the mayor can't make the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
That's
wasn't
fine,
making
that's
a
fine.
motion.
No, I've got it right here. So we're in accordance with state and federal law. We've directed Dean and Terry to go back to an hourly pay scale for the Public Works Department. They will receive the 3% raise like the rest of the employees, and then we will add a overtime into the pay scale instead of comp time. And this will be retroactive to the first of the last pay period. Also, since the police department is, they had a raise, but if we hired a new police officer right now, he would get the pay scale at $17.50, and the people that are working for us currently are not getting that. So we're going to go ahead and bring those people up to that $17.50. To do that. And that is a motion.
I'll second that.
I've got a first by Councilman Cockerham on everything he just said. I've got a second by Councilman Guthrie. All in favor?
So just for clarity with the citizens,
I know.
so now they're gonna be paid overtime instead of comp time, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Correct. I'll get with you. I know I probably.
I'm not
Favor?
understanding.
Opposed? None? So it's passed.
I'll get with you after and
Please.
explain it. We can't have everyone as a non-exempt salary person.
Oh, I know that.
Like we were trying to do to save the city money.
They're going back to hourly
Uh-huh.
with their with the 3% raise off their old hourly.
Hourly rate.
And then we will pay overtime if overtime is reached. So
No,
No comp. No
that's
comp.
only Public Works not getting not getting comp time. Everybody else is gonna get comp time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I had that right.
Is there any doubt?
Pardon?
Is there any doubt that you didn't get it right?
Yeah, well, just keep going.
Okay, just giving you an opportunity.
Oh, no, you'll hear me.
Okay, number 3, discuss and consider necessary actions regarding deliberations of real property. There was no action taken. Number 4, discuss and take necessary actions regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of the city attorney, Ed Voss. No action taken.
Were you listening?
Okay, that concludes our city council meeting. Next is going to be 8 city council member comments. Councilman Guthrie, why don't you lead the pack here?
Thanks for everybody coming out and staying hanging with our marathon.
Councilman Richards.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for coming too, and, as I mentioned in my prayer to start with, a lot of y'all know that for the last few weeks, I've been, kind of concerned about, possibility of my cancer coming back. But I found out today that it did not. So,
Amen.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate the prayers of the ones who have known about it and asked you to continue to pray for it. Thank you.
Councilman Frank.
Oh, okay.
Jackson.
I thought you, okay. Thank you everybody for coming out. Anybody got a sandwich? I'm hungry.
Councilman Farmer.
just want to say thanks for everybody coming out and staying with us until past 10 o'clock.
Councilman Cockerham.
Karen, be gentle with us. No, I understand. Well, we're trying to do the best thing for the city.
I want you to meet with me after the meeting,
I will.
please.
I will. But thank the rest of y'all for coming out. Thanks the people that came out for the IYAA thing. These kids are important to us. Charles' statements of, that we need to take pride, and I know that in our budget we've got a person that we can get in there and maybe to get some of this beautification stuff going on, and make it a great place to live. So that's all I have to say.
This is my turn now. I've been going around different cities between here, let's just say San Antonio, and looking at their overpasses and on what's underneath the overpasses. I know that the state of Texas does not manicure these other cities' underpasses. Ours looks terrible. When I first took office, I got with Dean, and Dean, we got it done. But somebody says to somebody that we can't mow state property. Well, we've been mowing state property all the way up until a couple of weeks ago when I said something other about it. If you can't do that, if you can't clean up underneath there, I don't want you to clean up anything that belongs to the state. I don't think that it's right. It's not. Why should we mow the state property when I get chastised for having people go out there and clean up underneath the underpass, the weeds, and weed eat around the poles that are right there on the bottom? That's all I wanted. Now, you can laugh at it all you want, but it's not proper for us not to go out there and clean, but yet we can mow the ditches between town and out there. Do you agree with that?
I disagree, but it's your comments. I'm here.
Thank you. I mean, that's why this downtown beautification hasn't been getting done. It's because we didn't have, on that portion, we just don't have the employees, I guess. So, well, with that, I appreciate everybody coming out and being here.
No, is that it?
So what was wrong with